Hey, welcome to Carnival Kia Franklin. My name's Skip, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to the brand new 2012 Kia Rio. Completely redesigned, completely new platform. This thing is awesome. This is the first one that any of our stores have gotten. It is amazing. It is, like I said, completely redesigned. As you can see, 15-inch wheels and tires, high-intensity headlights, and my favorite part, what's under the bonnet. You got a gas direct injected engine with a sealed 6-speed transmission. This thing will top out at 47 miles to the gallon. That is amazing. As you can see, this one's in black. This is a beautiful, beautiful black. They call it midnight black. It sparkles in the sun. It's got just enough flake to make it pop. This one, as you can see, there's the fuel mileage average right there. Between 30 and 40 average, and it can top out at 47 miles to the gallon. The interior is completely redesigned. It has a ton more room than its predecessor. This thing, it's amazing. I just can't say enough about it. I can actually fit in this car. I'm about 6'1", 6'2", somewhere around there, depending on what day it is. And I can actually fit in this car so comfortably. I love it. And as you can see back here, we've got a lot more room back here for the occupants. You also have a ton more headroom. This thing, you can actually fit people in it now. This car is awesome. It's not overstated, it's subtle, but it still makes a statement that you have arrived, and with passengers. And as you can see, this is the EX trim model. This is new for 2012. Its predecessor only had the LX and the SX. Now we've got the LX, the EX, and the SX. This is your middle of the road vehicle, this is EX. This one's a 5-door hatchback. It's got a whole lot more room than it did before. You can actually put stuff back here. I play music. I can put my amplifiers and my guitars back here just fine, not a problem. The seats also lay down flat too, so if you need more room. Beautiful tail lights. They're not overdone, they're not super huge. They're just right for the vehicle. You can lay the seats down, you've got a lot more room back there. You can also take that rear deck out in case you need the height as well. Okay, as you can see, something they've also done different for this year. You actually get a real nice key fob. It's a one-in unit, flips open like a switchblade. Do not use this at home on enemies or friends or anybody else. It's just for the car, I'm telling you. But you do get keyless entry with this. Something else they've done a little bit better this year, you get power door locks, power windows, power mirrors. As I said before, I can actually fit in this car. Its predecessor wasn't so comfortable. This thing is amazing. Part of what you get on the dash, you get Active Eco. This is what's going to help you get your fuel mileage. It's going to curtail the engine and the transmission to help you optimize your fuel mileage according to your driving habits. Up here, you've got your radio controls at your left thumb. You've got your cruise control at your right thumb. You also have your voice command. This car has voice command. It also has Bluetooth, and it's got a full menu in the dash. That radio's got Sirius satellite, it's got HD, it's got MP3, Bluetooth, CD, it's got your aux and your USB down there with your 2 power points. Look at those controls, your AC controls. How cool is that? Now, as I said, we're going to take this thing on a road test. The one thing I noticed about the previous Rio is a little bit noisy inside. Something I like about this one, it's a whole lot quieter. You can barely hear it start. And look at that display on the radio. So you've got the time, the date, and the day displayed on this radio. It's a beautiful thing. And when you turn it on, it's got a great system in here. And I love Sirius satellite. We got it on the 80s channel. We're going to turn it up, see how loud this thing is. I think it does real good. I think anybody that likes music of any kind, anything they like hearing through the radio, they're going to be very pleased with this system. It sounds great. So let's go ahead and put it in gear. Let's see how this thing does. And the first thing I like to do is I like to take this thing on the freeway. Let's see if it'll really get up and go. Now, it's got a brand new engine. It's got more horsepower. It's lighter weight, even though it's a little bit bigger vehicle on the inside and the outside. So we're going to find out what this thing can really do. because that's the first thing everybody wants to know. Will this car, being a small car, get up in traffic and get out there, especially when you're trying to get to work, you're trying to get on the freeway? This is the best thing to do. And I love this because I can't even hear the engine. I love it. All right, here we go. We're getting on I-65 North. We're going to see what this thing can do. And I like to really open these up. I want to see what they can really do. I'm already up to 60 miles an hour. There we go. I'm at cruising speed 65, and I just hit the freeway without any effort whatsoever. It's a beautiful thing. It handles like a dream. No wiggle on the steering wheel. Everything is easy to get to. Now, when I go on test drives, I really want somebody to get the feel for their vehicle. We're not going to do a quick half-mile run around the block. If you're buying a vehicle, you should know what you're getting. You should know what this car feels like before you go any further. So I like to take you up an exit or two, let you get in the midst of some traffic and on the freeway, get it up to freeway speeds. I'm already at 70 miles an hour, which is the speed limit here, and it doesn't feel like it. I have great visibility behind me. I don't have any blind spots. And I'm just cruising along. The RPMs are low. My eco minder is on. Everything's running perfectly. Okay, now we've come up a few exits. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get on some surface roads, see what it's like in stop and go traffic. It says right now that I'm getting about 35 miles to the gallon. That's outstanding. It's giving me instant miles to the gallon. I love that. That way I can help myself keep my fuel mileage up. That way I don't have to spend as much money at the pump. Can't beat that. Now, one thing I do like about this vehicle that really stands out to me is the turning radius. It's a very short turning radius, which means you don't have to get 10 acres to turn this thing around. Remember that song? Give me 10 acres and I'll turn this truck around. Not this car. It's going to park easily. It's going to turn easily. And this is kind of a bumpy road. So that's another thing I like, is that even though it's got a short wheelbase, it doesn't feel like I'm in a go-kart anymore. It feels like I'm actually in a car that's not going to hurt my back. It's not going to hurt anything else. And it's going to cruise nicely. This car feels solid. It feels well built. It handles great. And it's some of the things I look for in a vehicle. How does it feel? How does it handle the bumps? How does it handle the road? And I just can't get over how much room I can. In its predecessor, I felt like I was up against the steering wheel, up against the windshield. They designed this thing perfectly. I mean, I fit perfect in this vehicle. It feels nimble, it feels light, it feels efficient, but it's solid. It's a very solid car. The road noise in the predecessor was almost deafening. I almost have no road noise whatsoever in this vehicle, and I love that. The AC system, I could swing meat in here. Seriously, it's about to freeze me out. And one thing I really love about hatchbacks is not only the space that's back there, but I can see a little bit better out of the back. And that's just me personally. Now, we haven't gotten the sedan yet. We haven't seen any of those. Like I said, this is the first one in the area to the best of my knowledge. And so far, I'm in love with this vehicle. I adore this. Now, some of you that have been my customers previously or have met me know that I'm a big gearhead. I love vehicles. I love the automobile, period. I think it's a brilliant thing. I think it's amazing. I love the art. I love the romance of the car. This is a small, economical car that I can get into and feel good about it, knowing that I'm going to pay less than 20 grand for a vehicle like this with some great features that a lot of the competitors don't have for that price. But one thing I do want to show you is I'm going to pull into a parking lot here in a minute. I want to show you how awesome this thing turns, how great, how easy it is to park. As you can see, the gauges are awesome. I love the display. As you can see, everything is super easy to get to. We're on a 2-lane road, kind of a narrow backcountry road, and this thing's riding like a Cadillac. I mean, it's just so smooth. And typically in the past, I've gotten into small cars. It's been incredibly bumpy and uncomfortable. This one's just smooth. And we're in a parking lot now. I want to find a tight, kind of a tight parking spot. There seems to be one right here. and show you how easy this thing is to pull into a parking spot. Now for the turning radius on this vehicle, as I was saying before, it's very tight, and we're going to do one inside the car and outside the car from a standstill. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the wheel. Nice, right back to where I started from. This thing is a tight turn, and let's see what it does on the outside of the vehicle.